Welcome back to Just Scribble. In February, I used my A6 rings as my everyday carry, and I thought I would do a flip of my setup from February in my A6 rings. I actually moved out of my rings into my standard TN setup for March and April, actually until this week. And this week I'm actually in the Sterling Ink N2 weeks planner, and then I'll be back in my standard TN. I'm not sure what I'm going to use in May. I'm debating between A6 rings or an A6 TN. I am this year changing up my EDC, my everyday carry, the planner that goes with me to work and out and about, just to try out different sizes and different styles and kind of find what I like best, allow myself to use different covers that I have, allow myself to use different planners that I love, and just kind of have fun with it. And so February was A6 rings, and I will be back in A6 rings at some point during this year. I just don't know if it's going to be in May or if it's going to be over the summer. But in February, I was in A6 rings. I actually started out the month in this cover. This is my Mulberry Postman's Agenda, and I do have an unboxing of this, so I'll put a link in the cards up above. But this is actually what I was using for the first half of February for my A6 ring setup. I used this through the week of Valentine's Day. And then after that, I moved into my Gillio Matte Croco. This is the Charcoal Matte Croco, because I got these around the same time and I really wanted to use both. So I used this one for about 2 weeks and this one for about 2 weeks. I did leave some of the deco in here that I had in it when I had this one set up, but I moved out of this one and I finished out the month in this one. So this is the one that we're going to flip through because I still have it set up. Like I said, this is my Charcoal Matte Croco from Gillio. In the unboxing, I did mention that this had more sheen on it than I was anticipating, because most of their matte Crocos are more matte and like softer than this. It's a different tactile feel and a different look. I did actually talk to Gillio, and this is indeed the matte Croco. It's just that the hides that they got more recently had a little bit more sheen to them. So this is not the black Croco, it is the Charcoal Matte Croco. And I actually really do love it. There's just something about that more matte feel that I really love, that I think Gillio does really well. I feel like they do matte Crocos better than everybody else, or at least everyone that I have found and tried. One thing I will say about this planner is it does not lay flat very well, mostly because of this back pocket, which is common, I have found, in covers that have back pockets. It will, as I use it more and it breaks in, it will lay flat a little bit better, but it doesn't lay flat as well as some other planners that I have. It doesn't honestly really bother me because most of the time I'm in the center of this planner because I intentionally have the main areas that I'm in the center of the planner, and once it's opened it lays flat a little bit better. But when you're open to like the introductory page, it doesn't lay as flat. So I don't have a whole lot of deco in here, partly because I'm just not really good at deco, and partly because my planners are really functional for me. But I will go over what I do have. So I do have this ollie clip. It's a floral ollie clip. I love this ollie clip. So I have my ollie clip, and then I have this sticker from Live Love Posh, and I kind of tucked that down behind this washi card. So this is a pink card from Planner Press, and then this is a gold washi card from Live Love Posh. And so I put those two cards there, and then I just used the little ollie clip to make sure that the sticker stayed there. I don't have anything in this pocket here. In this pocket I have this card with the hollow foiling from Catspresso Co. And so I had that stuck there because I thought it was pretty and I love hollow and I liked how it looked poking out there. And then inside here I have a postcard from Live Love Posh. I thought that the vibes were very Valentine's, February with the colors, and I thought it looked cute poking out there, so I stuck that back there. I do have two pens in here right now. I actually don't have the pen that I used most of the time in here, which is a Uniball 1. This is a Pilot G2 from the Mean Girls set. I have that stuck in there because I used it for something and I stuck it on there, but I actually used a black ink pen most of the time. And then over here I have my mild liner. I use that to mark things off when I complete things on my to-do list so that I can see them more easily. I find that if I highlight the things that are already done, the things that I haven't done pop off the page for me better. So I like to oftentimes go through and highlight my to-do list, so the things I've already done kind of fade away in the background and the things I have left to do kind of pop and are brought to my attention. So that's kind of how my brain works, and so that's what that's for. And then in the back pockets, I have nothing in the zipper pocket. I had no intention of putting anything in the zipper pocket. I don't really find a use in zipper pockets in most of my planner covers. I do have a set of sticky notes here. I don't remember who these are from, but they have the little quotation marks, and I thought that they were cute. and they fit perfectly there. And then I have my favorite card from Planner Press, if I can get it out, that says, "A dream is a wish your heart makes." And I have that stuck there. And in the back pocket, I have a receipt. And that's kind of all of the deco in the like actual planner pockets. And now we'll go through my setup. So the setup isn't that much different than the last flip I did of my setup, but I did move things around and parcel things down and change my tabbing and things like that. So I thought it would be fun to do a little flip. So the very first thing I have is actually a card pocket insert. So it has little pockets from Catspresso Co. And I stuck 2 vinyl stickers inside. So they're not stuck down, they're just slipped inside. This one says, "My whole vibe is on Do Not Disturb." And this one says, "Sorry, I'm not open to your unwanted opinions." I thought they were really cute and they were pink, so they're perfect for Valentine's Day. So I stuck those in there. And then behind there, I have, with a little heart paper clip, I have a task reminder trigger list, which is a freebie from Plan with B. I have that stuck back behind there, and I just clipped them together like that. Behind that, I have my flyleaf. I put this way intentionally, this in front of the flyleaf, because this was so black, it didn't give me like happy, welcoming vibes, and I liked it better like this. So I love the flyleaf because it gives me a second pen loop, and I like having a pen and a mild liner or highlighter with me, but I didn't want all the black. I mean, I have the black rings and the black cover, and in October this would be perfect, but for February I wanted it to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more romantic, a little bit more fun, so I put this on top of that. Then when you flip that, you come to my first tab. I don't have labels on any of these top tabs. I used them just to get to sections. So I naturally kind of knew what was in each of these main section tabs. There's 3 of them. And so I just used them to kind of navigate through the planner. So I have a clear divider there, and then I have a dashboard that I made that says, "If you're sad, add more lipstick and attack," from Coco Chanel, with some lipstick on it. And then I used reusable tabs from Avery, or repositionable tabs from Avery, at the bottom, and I sectioned off this first section with those, and I put little stickers from the Coffee Monsters Co. that kind of went with what the section was. They're not like a perfect match, but for me they made sense. So like this one has a little shopping cart, so that one is where my shopping list is, etc. So the first section, and those are stuck on the back of each of the little dividers. So I stuck them on the back so that when I pulled up, the reusable tab wouldn't come off and it would just flip the page for me. So the first section with the little emoji with the arrow, if that's showing up, is my inbox. And so I have my inbox here, and I just have a couple of inbox sheets there. These are freebies from Plan with B. And then the next section has a little emoji with a pencil, and that is my brain dump tab. Some of these are for my channel, some of them are birthday ideas for people, things like that. So I have that section. Then this one that has like the little destination sticker, that has a tasks section. This is a printable. I don't remember who this printable is for, but it's set up to be able to track projects and then tasks for those projects. I don't have anything on this insert right now, but I had it there if I needed it. And then I had some notes about a planner setup behind that with this sticky note sticking out the top. These were notes on how I wanted to set up my standard, how I wanted to set up my wellness planner, things like that. And then I just had some blank pages in case I wanted to write things down. So this was more like a projects ideas section, just so I had a place to put things and it didn't get muddled with everything else. The next section has a little shopping cart with the emoji, and all of these are divided with pieces of vellum. So this vellum is from Josephine Beau Designs, and I cut it into A6 pieces and I punched it and used those. And then this is our shopping section. So this is a Puff and Pages Co. freebie. It is their meal plan freebie, and I think it's fabulous. It's my favorite. I use it primarily for planning our dinners, some lunches, some snacks. But what I do is the first thing I do is I write down our dinners, and I start with Monday. I write down what we're going to have for dinner on Monday, and then I write down the items that I need to buy for that meal on the shopping list. Then I write down Tuesday's meal, I add those items, Wednesday's meal, I add those items, Thursday's meal, I add those items, and so on. Sometimes if I know if we have events or we're going to be eating out or we have a party or something to go to, I won't fill out the weekends particularly. Sometimes I do, it just kind of depends. And then when I go and put things into my app to purchase for shopping, because I do shop at HEB in our online app and I do pickup orders, I just check off when I add them to my cart. I put an X if I realize we have it at home and I don't actually need to buy it. And then right before I check out, I go back through, I highlight what's in my app so that I can make sure that I bought everything that I needed to buy. So I really love this meal plan insert. It is my favorite. So that's the next section. And then the last one has this little emoji on money. I'm not sure if these little emojis are coming out clearly because they're really tiny and the sparkle is probably causing it to have trouble focusing. But this is where my order tracker is. So I just took grid paper, drew a line, and then I wrote down items that I had ordered, and then I check them off when they ship, and then I put a cross through the check when it's delivered, and then I highlight them off at some point whenever I feel like it so that I can see what's actually left in my order tracker. And then in the same section, I have notes on some weeks covers sizing because I was working on my Eternal Leather Goods order. I do have an unboxing of my week's cover from Eternal Leather Goods, and I wanted to make sure that the dimensions that I was getting kind of matched other things that I already had that I had tested with my planners, and then also matched several different planners that I intended to use in that cover. And that is the end of that section. And then I have this little insert from Catspresso Co. and it has little pockets inside. And in here I have some confirmations. Like this is the confirmation for my hotel for Go Wild. This is another receipt that I needed to keep. And so I printed those, folded them, and stuck them in there so that I would have them and they'd be easily accessible. And then we come to my next section. So this first section is like lists. The next section is plans, and then the last section is like collections and reference. And so this tab at the top gets me to my plans section. Then I have a piece of decorative paper. I think this is from Hobby Lobby, but it might be from Michael's, I'm not sure. But obviously February, hearts. I love hearts, so I put that there. And then I have my actual planner in here. This is a printable from Annie Plans. I actually asked her to create this and make it based off of the Auristelle Annie Plans Weeks Planner, where it has a weekly overview and then you have dated daily pages after that. And I really love that Weeks Planner, and I wanted to keep that same system in my A6 rings, and it's actually the same system that I'm using in my standard TN as well. It's kind of my base planning system. It's what I know that I need in my everyday carry. Most of what I need in my everyday carry is to be able to see my week at a glance so that I know what we have going on. And then I need to be able to have a place to make lists of things that I need to do. When I'm at work on my lunch break, I may run errands, I may pay bills, I may schedule doctor's appointments, things like that. And I also will think of things that I need to do during the week. And so those daily pages are really just like a bullet journal list place so that I can write everything down and get it out of my brain and I don't forget. And so I have found in an EDC, I don't need a timeline and all of that. That's in our main planner, our Wonderland 222 that stays home. But I do need to see kind of what we have going on that day, just like an overview screenshot kind of, and then I need a place for lists. So that's the way I have this planner set up. It's the way I use the Auristelle weeks in January. It's the way I'm using my standard right now. It's kind of my perfect recipe of what I need in an everyday carry planner. And so that's what I have. And so I asked her to make this insert in that style, and she did, and she added it to her shop. So she has this in A6 size. I also think she added it in personal size. So if you use A6 rings and you like this layout, or you think you might want to try it, she has it, and they're printables for a quarter. So it's 3 months worth in a printable. And then if you use personal rings, she has it as well. The way it works is you have your monthly for that month. So this was our February monthly. And then after that, you go into the week and daily pages. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. Let me take off this paper clip just so that we can flip. But this was our February monthly. This is something that I have learned I need something different in this planner, and so I'm going to show you that when we get to the end. But this was my February monthly. The only month I have in here is February. So I only keep 1 month worth of my planner inserts in this planner because really where I'm living in this planner is in those weeks and days, and I don't need to be in the forward planning ones. I only need to be in really what week I'm in. So I only put 1 month in this planner at a time. So I have my February monthly, and it's all filled out with all the things we had going on in February. I do outline my kiddos' days off from school with a marker of some sort. I also have symbols in my planners for this as well. A red dot means he doesn't have school, and then a slash like this, it means he has a half day of school. But I found that on the days off, the days he doesn't have school, because they don't always coincide with my holidays for work, I really need it outlined so that when I look at the month and my husband and I are planning things and all of that, I can easily see the days we have to figure out who's going to watch him or where he's going to be, because he doesn't have school, but we have work. And so I found that outlining his days off is the best way to do that. So in all my planners, I've been doing that. I've been outlining the day. So although I do have the dot, it wasn't enough of a visual for me. I really needed the outlining. And then if we're out of town or my husband's out of town, things like that, I will highlight across the days that we're out of town. I'll highlight important things that we don't want to forget. This was actually on the 1st, which was a Friday, because March 1st was a Friday. And so I actually drew the one in, and then I wrote that on there because I didn't need to write events there, but I didn't want to forget this because it was like a really big deal. It had to do with camp for the summer. And so I wrote that down. But that's our monthly. And then after your monthly, you go straight into the weeklies. So I didn't use the first week in this because that was also the last week of January, and I was already set up and using my RSTL weeks. So it's actually blank, so I can show you a blank one, and then I'll flip through the weeks. But the way this planner works is you have your weekly overview here. So you have like a screenshot of your week. You have a grid section here so you can make to-do lists, habit trackers, or deco, whatever you want. And then you have dated dailies. They do have a timeline on them, although very, very faint. I completely ignore that and I don't use it, but if you like a timeline, you can. And it just has dated dailies for the entire week till the end of the week, and then it goes into the next week. And then at the end of the month, in the insert, the printable, you have the next month, and then it starts that same way again. The weekly overview, the days of that week, the weekly overview for the next week, the days of that week, and so on. So this is the first week that I was actually in this planner and using it. And so I have my weekly overview, I have my to-do list, and then I have my daily pages. In the RSTL Weeks planner, this box up here where the date is, so this box right here, is the exact size of a 15 millimeter washi. So you can lay washi there. In the A6, it's not quite that size. So I did play with what washi I wanted to put up there. That's kind of the only deco piece that I have is some washi. It's also allowing me to use up my washi, which is awesome. And so I had this heart washi, and it was a little bit smaller than a 15 millimeter. There's like a little gap on either side, but it looks really good. And so I just added washi to the top, and then the highlighters that I used that week to highlight my to-do section, my just scribble section, etc., they kind of coordinated with that. So we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's sticky notes all over this one. Saturday and Sunday, more sticky notes on here because I do add those whenever I need. And I don't write in my everyday carry planner as much on the weekends because I'm home. And so I write directly into our Wonderland 222. The only time I really write on these is if I'm out and about. So if I go out to dinner and I take my planner with me so I can make notes, or I'm at a friend's house, or I'm running errands and I need to like wait for my oil change, things like that. So generally you'll find Saturday and Sunday are less full because I'm not needing it for that sort of brain dump bullet journal situation. And then you go into the next week. So this, I actually have no idea where this washi is from. I think this one is actually from Wonton in a Million, and I actually put it on upside down. But it's little white hearts, and they're upside down. But I don't care. But once again, pink, Valentine's. And I put some like grid washi back behind it on this side just to add a little bit of decoration. And same thing. Weekly overview, to-do list. I had a little to buy section for things that I needed to buy that weren't meal planning things. Like I needed jewelry cleaner, my husband needed Prilosec. So I had like a little shopping list for things not to forget that I didn't buy in our main grocery order. And then I have my days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, another sticky note. And then, and another sticky note the next week. So weekly overview this week and a to buy. See, air filter, hem tape, and an iPad cover. Super important stuff that week. And then this is actually a little bit of a taller washi, but because it's clear on the background, I could use it here and it wouldn't look weird that it didn't line up. And it's little Care Bears. I think it's so cute. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, another Post-it note, Thursday, Friday, another sticky note, Saturday and Sunday. This was a really busy week and I was out and about a lot on the weekends, so I used these more. And then this was the last week, so I had this marker, I had this page mark kind of tab, this ruler in there from RSTL. I would move this from week to week, and so this allowed me, when the planner was closed, to immediately flip open to the week that I was on. And this week I used this super cute little cat washi. And it didn't line up, but I didn't mind it. I think it looks cute anyways. So weekly overview, reminders, a little habit tracker. And Monday, there's my blotting paper. Tuesday, Wednesday, another sticky note. Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So I didn't write much on Saturday and Sunday, but we did have a lot of things going on and I was doing a lot of filming. So I actually have a list under here of videos that I was trying to film and video ideas to film. And I just kind of taped it down with some washi and stuck it there. This is from SquareLimeDesigns. I am an affiliate and the link is down in the description box. So cute. I love this. And it's a little, let me see. It's just a little grid lined to-do list. And then I had to remember my kiddo's theater costume, so I stuck that there. And then that was the end. And I did make this page. It's a grid page, the very last page of the printable. So I made a list here so that I could make some notes on my A6 rings, just so that I could kind of keep my thoughts together on these planners that I've been testing out. And then over here, I have a few sticky notes with random notes, as it says. I don't even know, some quotes and then some YouTube stuff down below. And then I have a houndstooth kind of acetate divider from Espresso Co. And then another random note. And then this is a section that I didn't actually use. I printed these in case I might want to use them. At the time that I set this up, I thought about having my wellness in here. And so this is actually from the Planner Room shop. And it has a weekly overview over here, a little grid section, your sleep tracker, your mood tracker, a habit tracker, and then a grid section there. And I thought about using this for my wellness. And then I had decided before, actually, I think I moved into this, that I wanted to use Paper Tess's weekly layout as my wellness because I thought it would be a better fit. And it's an amazing fit. So I didn't actually use this, but I do think this would be a great wellness planner, like a wellness planner insert. So if you are a person that wants everything in one, or if I wasn't carrying my wellness planner as well and I needed to write things down, I could set this up for the week because this is perfect for food logging, the weekly overview. You have your sleep tracker, your mood tracker. You could build this or this into a step tracker. You have a habit tracker. You could put your routines in here. I think it is really a great insert for wellness. I just knew that the Paper Tess was a better fit and it's really working, so I don't have any intention of changing it at this point in time. And then this is the same insert. It came in like 2 formats, so I printed both of them. So this one is slightly different. It's grid there. It has dots there, like a checklist, then your sleep and your mood, your habits, and then a grid there. I actually kind of like this one better because I could put my routines here and check off the things that I needed to do during the week, like a facial or whiten my teeth. It has places for my habits. I could build my step tracker or anything else down here. I have plenty of space to write my food log, sleep, mood. So I think it's a great insert, either format. And I think it came with both. It may have come with a third as well. I can't remember 100%, but it's the Planner Room shop on Etsy. And then I have this pencil board that's made for A6 rings from Lauren Phelps Design. The only thing that's weird about this is I thought it would have been slit so that you could pull it in and out and use it, and it's not. So I have to get some good scissors and slit it because right now it's just kind of a divider. And part of the reason that I like these is to use them as a ruler, like as a straight edge. I also use them to place tabs because there's a tab placement guide. And then also it can be a page marker because it sticks up here. I don't know if you can see that with like a scallop. I'd use this to get to my Just Scribble section of the plans section because this is all like my plans section. And so the scallop worked for that, but I would like to be able to just kind of like pull it in and out, kind of like I can do with this. But I haven't slit it yet to make that happen. I can't really show you guys a lot in this section. It has financial information behind this. This is like income, and so I have last year's and this year's income. And then I have video ideas. I have things about giveaways. I have calendars. Let's see. Oh, I can show you the calendar, the monthlies, because I did put future months in here. And so what I did was I wrote the month on the first, like on the front page. Instead of printing like deco, I just lettered the month, and then I dated the months, and then I have these lists down here. So I could put lists of videos that I was filming. I could mark off habits that I was doing for my channel or things I wanted to keep track of, like posting to Instagram, making shorts, making reels, that kind of thing. And so I set up April and March, like with dates. And then I have a place for that. But I can't show you the filled out ones because there's some stuff in there that relates to PR and money and other things. And then I have this sweet kawaii design little postcard, or like a planner card, and when I punched it, it enabled it to kind of sit down below, so it's longer than the pages, and so this gave me a little section divider where I could easily flip to a section as well. I have a sponsor and PR list, so this is where I keep track of my PR codes and affiliate codes, and so I have one for like my codes for you guys, so that if I'm sharing something on Instagram, I can remember the code, and then one for me for any codes that I get to save money, and then I have notes about the planner that I'm designing. So we're going to flip past that. And then this last section, this last divider, is kind of a referencey section. I'm not sure what all I can show you in here. I don't think I can really show you anything in here. So behind this piece of vellum, which has hearts on it, I do have a place for shops that I love, and it has discounts codes for those shops. So like if I get a mailer from a shop and on the back of the little card it has a code for my next order, I write it down so I don't forget it and I can use it, because I never keep track of all those cards and then I don't end up using that code. Or if someone I know is an affiliate for a shop that I'm not affiliate of, I write that down so I have their codes. And then I also have a school section. It's on a freebie from Plan with B, so you can kind of see it says school there, but I'm not going to flip it because it has my kids' stuff on it. But I have school stuff there. And then I have a clear piece of acrylic that I punched. I bought these on Amazon, and it hangs a little longer as well, as you can see there. And I put a little page flag on there. I think this one's from Post-it Note. And back here I have some reference stuff for medical back behind here. I wrote it on some grid inserts that I had from Paper Penguin Co. And then at the very end, I have this heart hollow little pocket from Catspresso Co. And in there I put this happy gratitude. Let's see, what does it say? Happiness, gratitude, and love. It's a happy planner, like die cut sticker that I got in a Be Happy box. And I just thought it was kind of cute and appropriate for February, so I put that there. And then I have a page lifter at the back, which I find is super important. And then this is kind of the change addition to this planner. So one thing that I have realized when using this planner is that I really need monthlies for multiple months with me at a time. Although in my actual plans, I really only need the weekly overview and the daily pages. A lot of stuff gets scheduled when I'm at work during the day, and I need to be able to write things down or get a notification from school of an event or some sort of project my kiddo has due, or my husband will call and tell me about a party or that he has to leave town for work or something like that. And so I need to be able to write down those events. And I know a lot of people don't tend to, or at least from what I see in the planner community, a lot of people don't tend to write down their plans and their monthlies ahead of time. They set up their monthlies at the beginning of the month and then they fill them in. And that's not how I plan. In all of my planners, like all of my book-bound planners, I pre-decorate my monthlies at the beginning of the year, and then I write in them as soon as something comes up, because they're pre-decorated. And I don't do a lot of deco, but I like a little bit of color on my pages. Because they're pre-decorated, I can write straight into them. And so that means that I can highlight with a color that matches the deco, and I can put things straight in, and I don't need to put sticky notes or post-it notes or have like a future planning log or anything like that. And it really works for me. And in this system, I was kind of missing that. And so I had a couple of options. One, I could have a future planning log, but I'm not a fan of those because I'm not putting things right where they go. So that means I have to remember to go to that future planning log and then migrate that over into a monthly at some point. And that's just extra steps that I don't need, that are inefficient in my opinion. The only time I use a future planning type log is for next year's stuff. So in my planners, I will have like the first 4 months of next year, so that if things get scheduled into the next calendar year, I can write them down because I'm not in that planner yet and I don't need to have that planner set up yet. But for anything that's planned during the current year, I want them to go directly into their monthlies. So the future log system was out, or the idea of a future log was out. So the next idea was that I could print my monthlies and I could put them in here, and I could just have my monthlies in here. And it would have worked okay. Like I could have done that. I could have printed all of these monthlies, but the way this printable is set up, it makes it a little bit more complicated to do because the months are right before each of the weeks. And so it would have taken a little bit of work. So I could have printed a freebie like from Peanuts Planner Co. and printed all of the monthlies and put them in here. But I also knew that there was a potential that one of my EDC options may be a 6 size, but not rings, but instead a TN or a folio. So I thought it made more sense to set up an A6 monthly that could be in either one. So I could use it with this, or I could use it with an A6 TN. I could use it with an A6 folio. I could use it in multiple instances. And so what I decided was, in the future when I'm using this, the monthly that's in here, that's attached to my weeklies and dailies, I would use this for just scribble planning. So I didn't have to have a separate planner section for that, and I could use this for just scribble. So it would downsize some of what I had, and I wouldn't have to be flipping back and forth so much in my ring planner, because I don't like to do that very much. And then I could use an insert that had all of my months in it, and this would be super easy to move between covers or setups. And if at some point I decided that I wanted to try B6 or B6 Slim, I could also stick this with that. So it would kind of go with a lot of different sizes and a lot of different setups. So what I had was the A6 monthly from Sterling Ink, and this is just a monthly booklet, and I set this up and it worked fabulously, and I really liked it. So this is a happy addition to this planner, because this sticks back here. I can actually, not in this planner because it doesn't have like a place to, it doesn't have like a slit here, but in some of my VDS ones, this actually could slip back in there. It could also fit into this back pocket. It can just tuck back behind here. I could tuck it in the front in these pockets. So it's really easy to stick with this planner. It's really, really slim. It's easy to pull out and update it, and I really like it. So I did add tabs to it. If you can see that, all my tabs. And I do have an unboxing of these tabs, so I will definitely share that. And then I didn't do anything in the front, like the goals and the quarterly overviews, because that's not what I needed this for. I just needed it to be able to write down plans. And because I do like to decorate my monthlies for the year, I just decorated all of them. Even though I wasn't using this till February forward, I even decorated the December 2023 one. So the deco in this one is all washi. So I just found cute washi that I thought coordinated with the month, and then I marked the days that my kiddo was out in a color that matched the washi, and then I filled in plans. So since obviously I was using this February forward, I didn't back plan into it because there was no need, but I did highlight and then add the washi just so it looked cute and it was a little bit complete. And then I filled in our months. And so I stopped relying on the monthly in here, and instead this was the monthly that I relied on, and I loved it. And then I filled in as things came up. So as you can see, March was already pretty full, even though we were in February when I used this, and I didn't touch this planner in March at all. April also had already stuff in it. We had May, which is just mostly birthdays and stuff like that, which is what's in the most of the month. Because I was only in this in a month, I didn't have things way planned out into the future. Now that we're in April, I do. But I just decorated each month with a cute little washi. I tried to use little character washis that I thought were cute, that kind of matched. And I decorated it like that. And it worked out really well, and I love it. So before I move back into A6 rings or A6 TN or an A6 folio, whatever A6 size I'm going to use in my next try for A6, I will update this for any plans that have been made in the interim, and then this will go in that cover, and this will be my monthlies. So that is kind of the change and addition, and it's working really well, and I really like it. And I have a similar thing in my standard. So actually the same booklet, Sterling Ink, but in standard size. I have the standard size insert also set up doing the same thing. I could honestly have used this one. So I could have put the A6 one with my standard, and I didn't actually have to set up a standard one. I could have just used this one because it would fit with my standard, but I already had the standard insert, so I went ahead and set it up, and it's working really well, and I'm loving it. So that's kind of my change. So it has a little booklet with it, and then all of my inserts, and I really like it. I'm really enjoying A6 rings. I was not a rings person. I have tried rings a few times over the lifetime, or over my lifetime. I have done personal, like in a Kate Spade zip one. I've done Kiki K's. I've done quite a few, and I never really found my groove. And then when I found plotters, I kind of fell in love with rings because the plotters were really small and slim, and they felt like writing in a book, and I really enjoyed them. So in pocket size and then in personal size, I really like the plotters. But in a bigger size, I still wasn't a fan of those sizes. It just didn't work for me. But when I found out about A6 rings and I decided to give it a go, it was really a great, perfect fit for me. I love the shape of the paper. I love the size. I like that it's portable, but it's not so small that I actually don't have writing space or that I have to change my natural handwriting to make it fit. So I could never carry pocket size, which I like because it's more portable, but it doesn't have enough space in it for the amount of plans that I have to write down. I cannot get, with my handwriting, all this stuff into pocket size the way that I need it, where it's not too cluttered and making me absolutely crazy. So I'm really loving A6 size, and I actually recently snagged a couple of new covers from some friends in the planner community. One, I got the most amazing deal on it. One, I got a really good deal on. And so now I have quite a few covers, actually, because my first A6 cover I bought was a ready to ship from BDS because it was everything I needed as far as the pocket configuration and the size and the quality at a really good price. And so that was my first one. This one I got on sale because I bought it through the outlet and there was a coupon. This one was like a good deal. I think good deal or premium good deal, whatever. One of the like discounted levels from Gillio. And then all the other ones I have bought secondhand, pre-loved from like buy sell trades or people in the planner community. And so now I have a nice little collection of A6 ring planners in some different sizes, like as far as the rings. So I have 20 millimeter, 23 millimeter, 25 millimeter, and 30 millimeter, I think that's right, as far as all of the millimeters of rings. So different ones have different size rings in them, and then they have different configurations inside, and then they're in different leathers, and I'm really liking them. So I'm gonna do a video probably in May. I think I probably won't get it done in April with Go Wild and everything else that I have going on, but I'm gonna do a video comparing all the ring covers that I have, because I have them from a couple of different brands, and then like I said, the rings inside are different sizes, and so that makes the inserts fit differently, and that makes the dimensions a little bit different. So I thought it would be good to do a little comparison of the different ones that I have, because they are all quite different, and you can chunk some of them up and some of them are more streamlined. But that's my flip from February of my A6 rings. I just thought I would show you guys how I had it set up when I was using this in February, talk to you about what changed, how I used it, all those kinds of things. Like I said, I may be back in A6 rings in May, but I'm thinking I'm going with an A610. I think I might actually use this from the Black Canvas. This is an A610 that I bought from the Black Canvas. I have a Lauren Phelps Designs tan sleeve in here, but I'm thinking I might use this in February. I'm thinking I might use this in May with that monthly, and then similar style set up to what I'm doing in my standard, and then move into this over the summer. Our summer schedule is quite different with vacations and my kiddo being in camp instead of being at school, and I think rings may be a really good fit for me during the summer. They do work during the school year as well, but I kind of think I'm feeling summer summer for rings, but we will see what happens. But they will be back at some point during the year. I just don't know how often or when, because I am, as I said, allowing myself to test out whatever I want throughout the year, just because it's fun and it lets me try out different covers, different styles, different layouts, different brands, all of those kinds of things. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to put them down below and I will definitely get back with you. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this flip of my February setup in my A6 rings. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future videos, and don't forget to just scribble.